Quick hits, three things in the news that I wanted to comment on that I think are actually quite important. First one, China trade surplus tops $1 trillion for the first time on non-US growth. If you think about how much trade was done or has been eliminated between China and the US, it's quite a bit. Yet they were able to top $1 trillion surplus for the first time. So what does that mean? Well, like our country here, like Canada, they're starting to make deals outside of the deals they're making with or that they have with the US. In my opinion, I think that's a negative for the US. If more and more countries start to make deals amongst themselves and leave out the US, where is that going to leave the United States? It's going to leave them out on the outside looking in my opinion. Canada's doing the same thing with Prime Minister Carney forging relationships elsewhere. Trump greenlights Nvidia H200 AI chips to China if he gets 25% cut. Funny story, because is this a security issue that the US doesn't want to let China gain access to these chips? I guess the security issue goes away if the US gets a cut, 25% of the profits. So that's an unusual thing, not something we've seen in the past. Our third quick hit, Trump unveils $12 billion in aid package for farmers hit by trade war. And so, yes, if trade or tariffs is not affecting the United States, why do they need to put together such a large package? So let's go through our first quick hit. China trade surplus reaches $1 trillion. Let's look at our first chart. And again, this clearly shows that China, as well as other countries, are starting to, I guess, move on, get on with life after the United States, or at least with more limited trade with the United States. And you can see this chart. It is by far the largest number we've ever seen. First time crossing the $1 trillion mark. So China, like other countries, are forging new relationships. Again, bad for the United States. The United States wants to be the dominant currency, the dominant provider, the dominating exporter, importer for the rest of the world. What does this mean for them if other countries are moving away? Definitely not a good thing. Our second quick hit here is that Trump greenlights Nvidia to send the H200 AI chip sales to China if they get a cut of 25%. Now, I will also tell you that they also approved AMD, another chip maker, to send chips to China also for that same deal of getting 25% of the revenue. Our first chart we have is Nvidia Corp. And you can see how Nvidia has been faring. For all of you that own Nvidia and think Nvidia has been a fantastic stock to own, it has. But if you look at the chart, it hasn't really done much since late summer. It's peaked a little bit beginning of November and then pulled back. So for me, Nvidia has sort of been flat, hasn't really grown an awful lot. AMD, our next chart, also perhaps will benefit from chips sold to China. Chart looks a little bit better, surged after October, pulled back, halfway through or 3/4 of the way through November, and has moved higher in December once again. So the interesting thing about these chips that have been approved by the United States, China is already saying that they may restrict these chips or put a partial restriction on the chips. So the US is saying, yeah, we'll agree if you give us a cut of the profits, but China may not agree, and it may be blocked on the Chinese side. So even though Nvidia and AMD might have a bit of a good deal going here, the stock really didn't move much higher. Both stocks didn't move much higher because now investors are saying that China may be the one to block the sale of these chips. Our last quick hit, Trump unveils $12 billion aid package for farmers hit by trade war. We can pull up our one chart for this topic, and you can see here that China has made few U.S. soybeans purchases. Soybean purchases was a topic of conversation in the last negotiations between U.S. and China. You can see for 2025 how few soybean buys have been made by China. And you can see right now, China is playing hardball. They're not so quick to buy. They may say, yeah, we're going to buy, we're going to buy, we're going to buy. And the president comes away saying they have a deal. But the proof will be in when they actually make those buys. And for the year 2025, those buys have been basically flat. And so that is obviously the worry for farmers. farmers and other farming products, other things that the farmers send all over the world. Obviously, China is a big destination for farmers, and so very important. And that's why President Trump has put together a $12 billion aid package. So a couple of ideas, a couple of things in the news that I think are important for individual investors to understand, and perhaps I wanted to comment on. And every day there seems to be new headlines coming out of the White House, and definitely not a shortage of those. So we'll keep an eye on more quick hits in the future. But for now, I think those are the three quick hits that caught my eye for this show today.